right, hello everyone, and welcome to our Q&A session, our very special Q&A session for Unlocking the Quantum Formula. I'm Mikey Stiller, the CEO and co-founder of Voss Coaching Co., and I'm so happy to be here with all of you. And I want to just let you know how this is going to go before I bring on the man of the hour, Mr. Raj. So at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see a button in the middle that says React. It has a little heart over it. And if you click that button, you should see another button that says raise hand. If you came prepared with a question for Raj, what you're going to want to do is raise your hand. What I do ask is that you just ask one question. If you have another question, you can always raise your hand again, but that way we can get through as many questions as possible. And Raj, why don't I go ahead and bring you on? How are you?
I'm great, Mikey. How are you? Great to be here.
It is so good to be here. All right, are you ready to get started?
Let's set an intention before we get started.
Okay.
So what I'd like all of you to do is write down your number one goal, the thing you want to achieve more than anything else. And I'd like you to write it down first. Okay? Now, I want you to look at that. And I want you to ask yourself this question. If it was impossible not to achieve this, would I be showing up the way I've been showing up? So it's an interesting question. It's a very interesting question because people always want more, but people don't do what it takes to get more. And that's going to be the price you have to pay. And so that is the price you have to pay. And so I want you to look at that first. But I also, before we get started, I want to congratulate everybody who stepped up and took action. Your life literally changed the moment you followed through with your word. And I want to congratulate all of you who have done that. I remember my mentor used to tell me, nothing happens until somebody steps up and acts. He goes, Arash, people always say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And until they act, nothing changes. So I want to congratulate all of you because you don't know it, but your identity shifted in that moment. And what you did for yourself is you don't transform once you get the results, you transform once you commit. And understand, most people don't commit and they keep saying, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it tomorrow. So huge congratulations to all of the people who have taken action. And I can't wait to work with you.
I love that, Araj, and I think that's the perfect way to kick us off. We do have several hands up already, but I'm going to start with a question that got emailed in advance. This question is from Natalie. You say don't worry about the how, yet focus on 3 to 6 goal-achieving activities per day. Please explain. Do not use the sales example. My goal is to turn my annual income into my monthly income. Are the activities the mental work, auto-suggestion, repetition of a paragraph?
No, the activities are the most important actions that you would take had you already achieved the goal. The mental work is not an action step. The mental work is like brushing your teeth. Do you consider brushing your teeth an action step? The mental work is just what you have to do. But I don't consider those actions. I consider them essential, but a lot of people don't have the right framework with the mental work. That's why they keep drifting. Think about all of you. Like if I was a fly on the wall and I watched you yesterday, I watched your attitude, I watched your processes, I watched how you showed up yesterday, would that be conducive with the goal achieved? What I've discovered is, first of all, the how doesn't matter. Number one, it has no bearing on it. I've never achieved anything when I knew the how. Whenever you know the how, you're achieving in your comfort zone. So the how never matters. If you knew how to do it, you'd already be doing it. What happens is people limit themselves and they do what's comfortable all the time. And people default to just studying. Studying is essential. I study every day, but I don't default to studying. And so you have to jump up, and I mean jump out of your comfort zone. Because nothing good, look at your life. Tell me one good thing that you've done in your comfort zone. Tell me one good thing. You know, a couple days ago, we did this webinar, and I was looking at the chat afterwards because I couldn't see it while I was doing it. And all these people said, I'm in, I'm in. I followed the people's words who said that I'm in. Only one followed through from the people who said I was in. Only one person. But they're doing that every day in their life. Why are we doing that? You know, if we don't follow through, nothing changes. So one of the best things that I could tell all of you, if you want to change your results today, stop negotiating with yourself. Like, you have no less potential than I do. If I can do it, you could do it. But people play so small because they see themselves so small. And I'm putting a mirror in front of all of you because I don't want you to see yourself small. I want you to stop rationalizing with yourself. I want you to stop letting that enemy that I was talking about continue to beat you. If you continue letting the enemy beat you, your life you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. And I can assure you that. But when you step out and say, if one person can do this, I can do it. I remember when I started changing, I didn't have the confidence. I was in a ton of debt. My back was against the wall. But this thought just kept coming in my mind. I was sharing it with my peak performers group yesterday. This thought came in my mind. If one person can do it, I could do it. I read this great book called The Science of Getting Rich. And he says, if one person can create great wealth, so can you. Yet people don't give them a chance because they're saying, tomorrow I'll do it. Tomorrow I'll do this. I'll just go back to studying. See, you guys got to get really brutally honest with yourself. That's a key to success. Got to get really brutally honest with yourself. You can lie to yourself, but your energy never lies, and the universe always responds to your emotional state.
All right. Thanks, Raj. Okay, so we've had a ton of people into the room since I gave the instructions at the beginning. So I'm going to quickly give those again, and then we'll jump into the first question. If you have a question for Raj, you're going to want to click on the React button at the bottom of the Zoom screen, and then click Raise Hand. And please just ask one question at a time. If you have another question, you can always raise your hand again. Kate, you're up first.
There we go. Good morning, Arash. How are you?
I'm doing great, Kate. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thanks for this follow-up. In terms of action steps, how do you've said that like the five senses are the last to
The last part of you
what's actually happening.
Yeah.
So how do we know when our action steps are like legitimately pushing us to our goal or if we're not doing the right thing?
Well, you're going to know by how it feels. So your body always tells you the truth, but you could do an action step and I could do the same action step, Kate. However, I could be completely detached and you could be completely attached, and they're completely different action steps. Okay? They may look the same, but they're going to be completely different. So whenever we do anything, we want to do it completely detached. The whole creation process, faith is essential. Faith is essential. Yet people say, I believe in God, I have faith, but then they never get out of their comfort zone, right? So they don't have faith. They say they have faith, but do they really? So do you know, Kate, today, if I challenged you and I'd say, Kate, I'm willing to bet on you. And if you commit to me and do what I tell you, I could show you how to earn $25,000 today. Now, but you have to do exactly what I tell you. And I guarantee you, you will get the $25,000 with what I tell you. Yet people don't do that for themselves. Like I was using an example. I said, if my daughter or my son broke their arm and I didn't have insurance, and they said, you're going to have to pay out of pocket $25,000. Let's say I didn't have it. You don't think I'd find the money? But we don't hold ourselves to that level of accountability. Personal accountability is critical. That's why the frameworks are absolutely essential to creating success. Now, I've been just like you, Kate. For 3 years, I didn't do anything. You don't want to follow that person. That
Right.
person was losing. You want to follow this person. But people, I remember, I have so many stories I could share about what I learned through my mentor. And I love sharing them because I promised him that I would always pay it forward. And, he said, Arash, people need to be strong. You can't win if you're not strong. And so we have to bet on ourselves. And when we say we're going to do something and not do it, we're not betting on ourselves. And we constantly let the outside world dictate our self-worth, dictate our goals, dictate how we live. I don't want anyone to dictate how I live. But your five senses are always going to be the last part of you that experience it. But the paradigm is so smart, and it goes to your five senses and says, play it safe. Do it tomorrow. Right? So you never listen to the five senses. The five senses are just telling you what you've accepted in the past. That's all it's telling you. So I'll give you a rule to follow. If you follow this, it'll be a game changer for you. I want you, for 1 week, try this, and then tell me I'm wrong. I guarantee your results will change. Refuse to let anyone or anything from the outside control you. You just do that for 1 week, watch what happens.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kate. Halima, you're up next.
Hi, Arash.
Hi, Alima.
I've been implementing all the stuff that you've mentioned in terms of prioritizing the main tasks. And I've put that into implementation. It's really helped in not just having a busy day, but just having a day where you can prioritize in getting sales in. I might get a yes from one place or a potential yes from somewhere else, but when I get, and this is probably what you've already covered, when I get a slight no somewhere else, my energy does go. I feel like it affects me slightly. I'm getting, even though the old Halima would have felt it like very strongly, but this time it's not as strong, but the energy slightly dipped. How do I bring that back up again?
Well, you got to understand what you're doing. If it slightly dips, it still dips. Okay? Yeah. So it's not, you have to understand you've got to work on your attitude. You're still letting the outside control you. You're pretending you're not, but you're still letting it. I don't want it to dip at all. Okay? I don't want it. That's got to be part of your standard. Your standard is I'm never letting anything in the outside control me. Until we do that, it's impossible to bring out our potential. But you can do it. That's why I always say, like, people will be so excited. Like, I get super excited about my goals. Then after a while, the excitement wears off, and this is where the discipline and the processes come in. Like when somebody works with me, Alima, they love the idea of the framework and processes, but they don't understand it. Then when they do it, and they're like, oh, now I see. It's like you have a tool belt with all these weapons around you, and you use them for these situations, right? So I'm glad that it's slightly dipped, but I want to, like, you're too good for slightly. Okay, let's not accept that. Let's accept only what you want. And anything that's not what you want, I want you to refuse to accept it. I want you to completely refuse to accept it. Do you know if you do that, your sales are going to skyrocket?
Yeah. All the previous advice that you gave from reading the book, there's been a switch. There was a mental switch. And I feel like I'm close, but after this, I want to intend to make sure I'm closer.
Okay, I got to tell you, you've been in my Quantum Leap coaching program and you've changed so much. And I'm so proud of you. Like, you've changed so much. When I talk to you now, you're so much more emotionally free. Before, you would ask me questions and always talking to me about problems. So you're doing the work, and I want you to commit the rest of your life you're going to do it. But I am super proud of who you become in such a short time. And I want you to anchor what I'm telling you, because sometimes we're the hardest on ourselves. So I want you to know from the day I met you in London till today, I mean, like 2 different people. And the reason you're tearing up because you know it's the truth. So congratulations.
Thank you, Halima.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Mikey, thank you for your support as well. Thank you so much, both.
Sure.
Miriam, you're up next.
Hi, Arash.
Miriam, how are you?
I'm good. I'm great. So thank you, because finally I did it. I'm part of Quantum Leap Coaching now. So
Oh, congratulations.
thank you. I appreciate it. My question is, I know I have my long-term goal, and I have an affirmation towards that. But what if I want to manifest something really like fast, like maybe just urgent, you know what I mean? Like a big manifestation urgently. Do I need to create another affirmation for that? Or do I just keep my main affirmation for what I want to, for my big goal?
No, keep it for your big goal. So if you want to create something faster, because all manifestation means, a lot of people don't know what it means.
Okay.
It's an intention that we've accepted on a deep subconscious level. That's what manifestation means. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want it faster, what you want to do is just accept it. Get in the spirit like you already have it.
Okay.
Okay. Like the house I live in is my dream house.
Yeah.
Okay. And I remember I walked in, I just remodeled my other house. I didn't even think I was looking for a house, but my wife's like, let's go look at this house. And anyway, I walked in the front door and I knew it was mine.
Yeah.
It's the easiest house that I've ever bought. Well, I was talking to Bob about it, and I go, somebody asked me, how long have you been visualizing this? And I said, I didn't visualize it once. I said, but I knew it was mine. He said, you did what's called active visualization. That's much more powerful than anything. Like, I just accepted it. See, that's the philosophy. The philosophy is accepting.
Absolutely.
The law of acceptance activates it. We're accepting unconsciously what we don't want. And that's why people keep losing to the enemy. We first got to understand, who is the enemy? It's not me. It's not you. The enemy is in our mind, that other voice that says, I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. I'm going to wait till tomorrow. That enemy keeps kicking our ass. So we keep getting the same results. So once we beat the enemy, everything changes. So I want you to accept. See, don't make anything big or small in your mind.
Okay.
Okay. See, let's look at what you just did. You said, I know you've been wanting this for a while. So I want to congratulate you. But let me ask you this. And this is how I want all of you to pay attention to my thinking. I want you to pay attention to my thinking. Would you give me $1 if I give you 100? You would, right?
I would.
Okay. Well, if I said, you give me 100, I'll give you $1,000. Would you do it?
Yes.
And then if I said, what if I could show you, if you gave me 1,000, I will show you how to earn 10,000 today. Would you do it?
Yes.
Yeah, you would do it, right? Well, what you just did is you gave me 10,000 for Quantum Leap coaching, and I'm going to get you hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
We got to understand that, but we don't think that. People think exactly how they are, and that's why they stay exactly how they are.
Wow.
So I am super proud of you, but that's how I want you to think.
Okay.
So whenever I make a decision, is this going to grow me? If it is, I absolutely do it. If it's going to contract me, it's a hard no. Okay. So that's where we can get out of our own way.
Okay.
Good.
Is there a way? I have one more thing. Is there a way should I just say it is done? Whenever the thought pops up in my mind, I say it's done. You know what I mean?
It is done, but it truly is done. See, you don't understand that it's done.
Oh, wow.
All creation is already finished. Our goal is already done. It is already done. Okay?
Yeah.
Then we say it's done. Then we're looking for results. That's not how you do it. If it was done, how would you feel? You'd be excited. You'd be like, I'm super proud of myself. That's
right.
the energy that I want you to be in.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you, Miriam, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Lois, you're up next. You should see a little pop-up saying the host is asked. There you go.
Okay. Yes, I am here. Thank you very much, Mikey. So, thank you for the opportunity, guys. Now, Arash, I will read you very quickly my wall so I can give you my question. So, I said, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am a business owner by having an English school which renders useful and excellent service to all the customers who want to speak English fluently. It is a thriving business that allows me to have an amazing cash flow and gives me the freedom and lifestyle to go and do whatever I want, enjoying life to the best possible way. Now, in the beginning, I had no idea about this goal, and I studied with Bob Proctor coaching, but it was like 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't have a goal at that time. I didn't know what to do, but now I started this goal by myself, and I have seen the law of attraction working because I attracted all of the resources, like all of the materials, all of the things that I needed in order to create the content and all of the modules. I have been working painstakingly for more than 1 year, but my question is, what standards can I create in order to achieve my goals in a faster way? Thank you.
Yeah, so I would tell you, working hard is not the answer. So what I would do, like if I was working with you right now, one-on-one, okay?
Yeah.
I would look at your goal and I would say, what does your goal demand? Okay, like if you achieved it, what does it demand me to be really good at? Okay, like what is the one skill set? What are the beliefs that it demands? And then I would work backwards with you. I would say, okay, let's create a process here, a process here, a process there. Okay, so I'll tell you, 80% you're doing, I want you not to do. Look at what is not causing the results. There's a lot we do, just busy work, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to observe it. I want you to look at every 90 days for me, I always am eliminating what no longer works, okay? Or what is just tasky, okay?
Yes.
And so I want you to understand there's 80% of what you're doing that is not serving your goal, okay? So when I eliminate the 80%, we just work on the top 20%, okay? And then the top 20% is just to create a massive quantum leap. Like, how much are you earning right now?
I'm not proud of that amount.
Don't worry about it. I don't care the number. I just am curious.
5,000 per year, which is not that much.
Okay, do you know you can go from 5,000 a year to 5,000 a month just by switching a few things? Okay, just by a few things. I mean, how much would it mean to you if you were earning 5,000 a month instead of 5,000 a year?
Yeah, it'll be like a quick jump. Actually, it's like
it'd be enormous, right? So what we have to do, and this is where processes are so critical, we have to get you the right goal achieving processes. Okay, you have to work on them, and literally. You remember in Think and Grow Rich when Napoleon Hill said, when money comes, it comes so fast, you wonder where it was in all those lean years?
Where it was all these lean years, yes.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I don't look at your number and be proud of your number. Don't ever say I'm not proud of it, because then you're creating a bad relationship with money, okay? So be proud. Don't worry about it. Okay, I know you could do more. You could do more. Okay, and I want you to do more. I mean, for sure I do. But I will tell you this. What you're earning right now is based on what you did in the past, not what you're doing from this moment on.
Yes, that's 100% correct.
So I want you to see yourself, whatever your goal is. Maybe maybe your goal is not even what I said, but I was just giving an example. But that's how we've got to eliminate what doesn't work. Okay, we lie to ourselves and say, I had a great day. And then I always tell people the truth. Okay. And the truth is what sets us free. Because if I can get you to do a few things for 90 days, and 90 days, do you realize you'll have a quantum leap? Do you realize you're going to call me and say, oh my God, Arash, the last few years I was earning $5,000 a year, and now I'm earning a lot more than that every month? See, we got to get on the frequency. We have to get on the money frequency if we want to earn more money. So the money frequency is always less. Less is more.
All right. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you, Carlos. Chantal, you're up next.
Hi, Arash. Happy to be there, and thank you for that.
Sure.
I guess my question is how to accept radically, because it's been 1.5 years. I realized that my basic needs are covered, and the salary is there, so I'm secure with that. I'm also working on my mindset so much. What you're saying, it's making more and more sense now. I still feel like how to just trust completely, and that's it. That's all. Now I'm like, should I focus on the energy? Should I focus my energy on accepting it, or bringing more value in the life of people, bringing more offer out there? Like, how do you just radically?
Before you do that, we've got to eliminate your hidden commitment. You have a hidden commitment that is keeping you from going to the future you desire. And that hidden commitment for you is overthinking. Okay, so I could give you all these things, but if I don't get to the root cause, I can't change the result. And so we have to get to the root cause. For you, it's overthinking. Then you ask the question, why do I overthink? People overthink because they don't trust themselves. Then the ego will get in the way and they say, no, I trust myself. I'm really good at what I do. I never said you weren't good at what you do. You've done enough repetition that you are good at what you do. But for you to help more people, you have to transform yourself. Like, I can't help anybody if I don't continue to grow. And so your biggest thing that we've got to do is we have to create a process for you to make sure you know when overthinking starts coming, because that's a form of resistance. And 99% of people fail because of resistance. I have resistance all day. All day I get resistance, but I know how to beat it. So as soon as I have the resistance, I do the exact opposite, right? So you're using overthinking as a comfort zone to keep you where you are, even though you want to be more, even though you're inspirationally dissatisfied. You're no different than I was. I'm always inspirationally dissatisfied. That's like my fuel. That's like my high octane fuel, because the minute I'm not inspirationally dissatisfied, there's no reason for me to become more, right? So overthinking is what we have to eliminate first. Then all that other stuff will become natural.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Chantal. Elizabeth, you're up next.
Hi, Raj.
Hi, Elizabeth.
All right. My question is about goals.
Right.
I enjoyed yesterday's presentation very much. My current goal is $30,000 a month. I currently make $5,000 a month, and I live in a house that I currently rent.
Mm-hmm.
And something happened yesterday where I just got on fire, and I'm like, I want to buy this house. Again, my goal is $30,000 a month, and I know, should I focus on that, or should I focus on just flat out buying this house? As far as, I guess that's my question. Do I change my goal, or how do I work it in? Because it was very emotional.
Like, I would put a deadline on the house when you're going to buy it. Okay. And I would see yourself in that house every day.
Because I live in it right now.
Oh, you live in it. You want to buy the house you're in. Okay.
Yes.
But see it like you own it. How would you feel if you owned it? You got to get in that feeling.
Okay.
Right now, to go from 5 to 30, I mean, I could take you there in 90 days, literally, by just changing your strategy. Do you realize that?
I guess I do now.
Yeah. So, but you've got to, a lot of people want to do it their way. They want to do it the least resistant way. And it's not going to happen. You're programmed right now at 5,000.
Very.
Okay. So I would give you a different framework from 30,000.
Okay.
Did you get in the Quantum Leap coaching?
Not yet.
No, you got to do it. I'm telling you right now, if you're serious about it, stop screwing around. And I say that respectfully. Whether you do it or not is not going to impact me. I'm going to continue helping people. But it's going to impact you, and I don't want to talk to you in 6 months and you say, Rush, I'm still there. Okay, you know why you haven't done it? I'll tell you why. You are not thinking from the person that's earning 30,000 a month. You're thinking from the person who earns 5,000 a month. And I'm not trying to be hard on you. I want to create a breakthrough for you right now. That's what I used to do. That's exactly what I did. And when I changed within 30 days, I had such a massive shift when my back was against the wall. And what we have to do is start being in integrity with who we want to be. We're more in integrity with who we currently are. So you're never going to create more if you continue to let the past self and the present self control you. Am I making sense?
Oh, sure.
So what happens is, imagine a car driving, okay? When you're driving a car. Now, you're not in the passenger seat and no one's driving the car. Someone's driving the car. Well, for most people, their past self is driving the car. The comfort is driving the car. So they don't bet on themselves to go out and jump to go create what they want. And I can tell you how to do it, but you've got to follow what I tell you. But if you go to your comfort zone, you're going to stay stuck. I say this respectfully because I've been on both ends of it.
For sure.
I love watching people like Kate. I've seen Kate change so much. She's in my Quantum Leap coaching. She's coming to my World Class Wealth event. I've seen her change so much, but people change in moments. It's not this big idea that you have to implement. That's why I'm telling you this. Okay. But here's the best thing that I could tell you to do. Bet on yourself. Don't bet on the results. Okay? Bet on yourself. You have perfection inside of you. What we have to do is you don't see yourself how I see you. None of you do. None of you see you how I see you. I see you so much bigger than you see yourself. And I didn't see myself how my mentor saw me when I first met him. Because if you looked at me, God, I was not a billboard of somebody who was going to create success. I promise you that. But the best thing that I did was I bet on myself, even when the things were not going right. That's when people win, because the universe knows. The universe, all it responds to is our energy. So when somebody makes a definite decision, it's a sexy energy to the universe. The universe goes, I'm going to go help this person. But when we're in the static energy, see, everybody wants more. They may not say they want more, but everybody wants more. I want to bring out more, but I want you to make it a fact, not a wish. That house is yours. That 30,000 is yours. If you trust what I'm telling you, and you'll know if what I'm telling you is true because it'll resonate with your heart. I'll tell you this. I can resonate with you so well. I remember I wanted success so bad. I hated struggling. I really hated it. And then I started questioning myself, like, am I good enough? And I'm this. It had nothing to do with that, right? It was that I was just doing the wrong things. And that's when I was telling you guys the story that my mentor told me. He goes, you don't know what the hell you're doing. He said, do you realize how quick I can change this? And everything changed for me. Everything will change for you, but you have to go to that unknown. You will never create success in your comfort zone. I hope this helps.
Oh, it does. Thank you for your time, Arash and Mikey.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Olivia, you're up next. Olivia, are you there? All right, Raj, I'm going to give Olivia a second. There's quite a few questions in the chat, so I'm going to ask you a couple of them. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Okay. Currently, I have a target of 40,000 per month. Gaining understanding of better sales, have a team, increase my call rate, and average 5,000 per month for the company. Looking to create more of an empowering feeling as if the goal is already done. I'm not sure without someone who is good sales to see would I eradicate the 80%.
Well, we got to understand what selling is first. If you want to be great at sales, you have to have a great relationship with selling. If you want to have more money, you'll have to have a great relationship with money. So there's a great quote that I love from King Solomon. He says, if you have something good, it's your moral obligation to get it in as many people's hands as possible. Selling is about serving. So if you want to improve sales, you've got to improve how you communicate, how you serve. And whenever you're selling anybody, you're not selling to them, you're selling for them. You're getting them out of their way. See, if you look at what I was just working with Elizabeth, okay? Elizabeth is a want creator. Like, that's what she is. And so what a great leader would do with her is what I was doing with her. I want her to see who she really is. That's the key. So a lot of people, even in your question, the way you framed it, you're separate from your goal. You've got to see yourself as the best sales professional in the world right now. You got to see your client saying, oh my God, thank you so much for helping me. So people are always going to the goal, and that's why they never achieve the goal. You never go to the goal, you go from the goal. You match the mental equivalent of the characteristics of a great salesperson. What are those characteristics? Great mindset. Selling is a mindset. Great servant. You're not worried about getting the sale. You're just focused on helping people. If you help enough people, I promise you, your income will raise. And you have to be a product of whatever you're selling. You have to love what you're selling. You know, I don't know anybody in my life, and my whole life, really, 48 years, I've never met anybody who did great at anything they didn't love. So you got to find an idea that really like you're in love with. Like, I'm in love with my goal because I know how many people I'm going to help once I achieve my goal. Like, that's what it is. And I will tell you right now, I can relate to you right now. If you're struggling with money, if you're not at your financial part, understand it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you don't have the proper direction. You don't have the proper roadmap. I didn't all of a sudden become successful. I had to get the proper direction. But the key is committing with your whole being. Committing, stop giving yourself an out. Your old story is an out. Stop giving yourself an out.
All right, Raj, this next question. I am learning to become active in bringing my life in harmony with my goal. I have 2 events coming up that both are 2 different angles in harmony according with my goal. I need to decide one over the other due to them being at the same dates. Can you speak to that?
I would go after the one that would create the greatest growth. And ask yourself, what would my future self choose? What would my future self say? See, right now, I want you to get out of your head. And I want you to imagine that you are fused with your future self. Then the answer becomes easy. See, what you all right now are saying yes to, your future self would say no to. Outside of my good friend Miriam, who finally did it. I'm so happy for you. But what you're saying no to, you should be saying yes to. Okay? So we have to understand that. So we want to stop overcomplicating. And I was telling Chantel, like, if we could eliminate overthinking, it would change the game. See, when you understand you're going to start making decisions within milliseconds. Okay? Because your soul is always looking forward, never looking back. So every time you shame yourself, every time you doubt yourself, you're now not coming from the essence of who you are, which is perfection. You're coming from your ego. Your ego is the part of you. It's the most insecure part of our personality. Our ego is the part that says, I'm not good enough. Our ego is the part that says, don't you see they've done it? Do you guys remember I asked you guys a question the other day, whenever you watched it? I said, have you ever been in a situation where you thought you would be further and you see other people further and you're like, why am I not further? This is why. Okay, you guys, it's not your fault. I'm telling you this, it's not your fault. But now that you know it's not your fault, you can't stay on the fence. You got to jump out. Look, if I could do it, you could do it. I was in the worst place in my life. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, but I knew my way wasn't working. And I wanted to set myself up. You guys got to set yourself up better. Stop letting the fear dictate you. Stop letting your bank account dictate you. You have a mind just like I do. And how you use that mind is what turns into the results. So look at this. Your mind is your greatest asset, or it's your greatest hindrance. I'm going to tell you that right now. And what you have to understand, most people are letting their present results control them. That's why they constantly are not happy. They're not happy. You're not going to be happy until you step out and act. That's where happiness comes from. Think of a time where you all just did something out of your comfort zone. Do you remember how much pride you had for yourself that you did it? Regardless of the outcome. It felt so good, right? Well, we've got to do that every day. And the reason I say it's not your fault, because you don't have the right direction. You guys are doing what I did, where you keep studying. You keep gathering millions of information without having the right processes. You know, somebody put in the chat, study a book. Selling is studying people who are already selling. That's what you want to do. A book just goes to your paradigm. It just goes back to your paradigm. I never learned selling with reading books. I love books. I'm not telling you not to read books, but find somebody who's really good at selling and study them. Study the people doing it. You know, study the people getting great results. Like I get my clients great results. Why? Because I've done it. I can easily look back to see what I've done. And that's when my mentor told me, he said, Arash, I don't know what the hell we did together, but you've turned this into your own specialized knowledge. And he said, I want you not to teach what I've done, teach my lessons, but teach what you're doing. Because you know how many clients have come to me and said, Arash simplified it for me. I say this with respect. You know, simplicity is what creates a world-class life, not complexity. Get out of your own way. That's my biggest advice. Right now, from the questions, from the energy that I'm seeing, you guys are literally a razor's edge from living the way you want to be, but you've got to step up and act. You've got to trust me with what I'm telling you. And you've got to get off the fence.
All right, next question. What is the best affirmation for transformation?
That's a good question. I would say, I'm so happy and grateful. And I want you to see how I'm saying it. I want you to do it with my energy, okay? I'm so happy and grateful now that the day I bet on myself was the day I transformed. And now I bet on myself every single day. Transformation is who I am.
All right, this next question. What is the best exercise for transforming the feelings of unworthiness and undeservability, never being good enough, into the feelings of unconditional worthiness, deservability, and always being good enough?
Yeah, I work with this with clients all the time. It's going to sound so simple that it's going to be easy to reject. I'm going to tell you that right now. Worthiness is your God-given right. So to go from unworthiness to worthiness is just to accept what I told you. And I'll tell you how to do it. First, accept what I just told you, okay? Do you think God made mistakes? God didn't say, okay, Arash is now worthy once he was in his mid-30s, and when he was in his 20s, he was going to feel super unworthy. That's not how it worked. But I want you to go to sleep at night, and first thing in the morning, 100 times silently say, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. Within 2 weeks, you're gonna eliminate that. But now everything is about awareness, so it's understanding. So I could give you all this, but until you go and do it, you're not going to see the results. Okay.
Haraj, this next question, what do you mean by betting on yourself?
Betting on yourself is you're saying to yourself, I'm going to do exactly what Arash tells me. We're betting on ourselves, either betting against ourselves or betting on ourselves every day. There's no better person to bet on than you. You're with you your whole life. And what happens is most people are betting on the results. They're betting on their current reality. They're betting on, you remember when I made a mistake, I'm never going to do that again. When you bet on yourself, you go all in. It's a different energy. When you bet on yourself, you all have bet on yourself at some time, but normally people don't bet on themselves until they're so pissed off enough. I want you to bet on yourself every day. Every day I bet on myself. Every day I walk into the unknown. I never know what's going to happen. God willing, I have a lot of days, but I don't know that. That's why we can't give up the day. You have to bet on yourself by saying, I'm going to go create what I want. I'm going to go put myself around the right circle of people, because if I looked at all of you and I said, tell me the 5 people you talk to the most or hang out with the most, I'd know what you're creating in the future. But now you get in my environment. Now you're dealing with Halima, who's transformed, Kate, who's transformed. You're dealing with all these people who keep transforming. Now they're thinking differently. See, you've got to learn not what to think, learn how to think. Thinking is the highest form of activity that we do every day. So right now, your results are just a reflection of your thinking. But imagine in 6 months, imagine when you change your thinking. Imagine when you take me up on my offer. I've never done it before. And now you have an identity program with it. Imagine what would happen. Imagine that you started living with kick-ass standards. Like, what would change in your life? Everything. But you're one decision away from changing your life, but you have to want to change your life. What I've discovered is most people don't want to change. They say they want to change, but they don't change. That's why decision-making is the prequel to everything we see in our life.
All right. There's a few more in the chat that I'll get to in a second, but Ziryab, I want to bring you on first.
Hello, Arash. Hello, Mikey. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are you? Good?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Thank you. Very good also.
Very good.
Arash, I'm launching a new business.
Okay.
And it's about selling.
Mm-hmm.
So my question was, what's the only idea the main important idea I have to have in my mind when I'm selling? If I simplify it, tell me if I'm correct. The idea is to see the person it's a product, to see the person who's gonna purchase, imagine his goal or her goal. So it's like a perception work and imagination, and help her to achieve this goal. So it's action and decision.
So I don't sell like that. Okay. Like if I saw you and I wanted to sell you, I ask you what you want. Okay. And then let's say you said this product, I want to get it into millions of people's hands. Right away, I would see you already with my product, already selling your product to millions of people and helping them. I automatically accept when I coach somebody, I don't see them as they are. I see them as who they want to be. So I coach them from their goal, their future self, not their present self. So when you're selling, you've got to first of all, you got to believe in your product as much as I believe in mine. Okay. Like it's so obvious I believe in mine. So the person will know. Like you can't fake that. You can't fake, like, I wonder if it's going to work. I wonder if this, because you know what never lies? Energy. Energy never lies. And selling is a transference of energy. So every day, you, me, and everybody on this call is selling an idea, product, or service. It could be with my wife. It could be with my kids. Usually my kids sell me, but it's always something, right? So, but you don't sell mechanically. That's where losers sell. So they're only going to sell by the law of averages. You sell by really caring about the other person. And forget about the sale. Like before you ever go on a sales appointment, you want to already see yourself selling the people. Okay. Like it's already done. That way you're not worrying about, oh God, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? then you're just relaxed and you're just focused on them and finding out how you could fill the need for what they want. And that's how you sell.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ziria. Ben, you're up
Thank you,
next.
Okay, good evening, Harold. Yeah, I want to ask a question
Sure.
based on your teaching. Thank you for your teaching and everything. But you used to say you got to want your goal as bad as you want to breathe.
Great. Yeah.
Does that one sound not desperate and coming from a negative energy? Can you explain that?
No, not at all. Like if you look at anything, want creates abundance, but you have to want it as badly as you want to breathe. That isn't my quote. You know, the great philosopher, that was from Socrates. And a gentleman came to Socrates' house and says, I want to be as great of a philosopher as you. And he said, will you help me? And he said, sure. So he takes him back to the back of his house where the lake was. And he said, kneel down. So the gentleman kneels down. He grabs him by the back of the neck and he holds his head underwater, and he's holding it is the fable. And then he brings it up and he says, if you want to be as great of a philosopher as me, you have to want it as badly as you want to breathe. So that's not negative. That's called desire. Negative would be, I can't do it. They can do it, but I can't. So not at all. But what happens is, if I go back to some of the people's questions, Elizabeth is in my head because I want her to get that house now. Okay. And so, but she's got to have to want it so badly that she doesn't let anything get in her way. You know, I tell my kids this all the time. I said, whatever you guys want, if it's a real want, you will never let anything get in your way. What happens, okay, let's look at our mind. This is exactly what happens. Our subconscious mind channels to our conscious mind, hey, you can have this. This is a want, okay? So for Zira, people saying he created a new product that he wants to sell. So that idea came from his subconscious mind, okay? Yeah. Now, our conscious mind, that's where we can accept or reject. We have to accept that want right away. I am going to create the life of my dreams. But listen to how I accepted it. I didn't say, I wonder if it's going to happen. I am creating the life of my dreams, okay? Now, through the repetition of living in harmony and seeing myself doing that and accepting it over and over again, I turn it back to the subconscious mind and it becomes a desire. Do you know, I can't give you all desire. God plants the desire in our heart. And the desire and the starting point before it gets channeled to our conscious mind, meaning it's already done. None of us would have a want that we shouldn't have. We wouldn't have a want that we couldn't accomplish. But what happens in that wanting stage, we give in, we give up. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. But I've never achieved anything that I kind of wanted. Like you have to want it so bad because it gives you reason to grow. That's why I said financial freedom to me is one of the worthiest goals that any person can create because of who it makes of you. Like how much you have to grow and what it will do to your character. And then no one's going to create financial freedom without emotional freedom. So you're working inside of you and the outside changes because the inside changed. Now, you may say, my results haven't changed yet, Arash. I'm doing what you're saying. Then I'd say, are you? It's not what you do, it's how you do it. You have to do it with emotion. You have to be emotionally involved with what you want. I said it the other day. I don't know if you saw my webinar or not, but the other day, I told everybody. I said, every single person on this webinar, I can help every one of you create quantum leaps in the next 90 days. But I said, it doesn't matter what I know. It matters what you do. Because I can't do it for you. Like you have to make that next decision. Do you know once you make a decision for your growth, you transform your identity. Your identity creates your results. But you can't do it without decision. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much. Right.
Thanks, Ben. Haraj, this next question, how to be more comfortable with unknown when we are feeling uncertain?
Oh, listen, that's the unknown. I feel uncertain all the time. But, that's not the problem. You have a mind that is so amazing, and you're going to course correct. There's nothing I've created in my comfort zone that had any value. So I can tell you the unknown is where the magic is. The unknown is where your freedom is. Your freedom is not in the known. But here's what happens. You and I are seeing the world a lot different, okay? I'm giving you a lot of concepts today that are very counterintuitive. Because if it wasn't, you're like, oh, this makes sense. This makes sense. But he's already here, right? I wasn't. I was a beginner. But what happens is we see the world from our programming. So when we're afraid to do something, that tells us where our identity is. Now, our fear, we prioritize so much greater than the house, than the business, than the freedom. We have it backwards. We have to prioritize the freedom. When you prioritize the freedom, you'll be awed by yourself of how many gears you have inside of you that you can go into. So let's ask a question. Right now, I asked you guys to write down what you want. And I said, are you living in harmony with that? Okay. Then I want to ask you now, are you prioritizing your want? Are you prioritizing freedom? Or are you prioritizing what's comfortable? And are you keep staying on the fence saying, I'm going to wait another day. I'm going to wait another day for my life. Well, that's what's going to keep happening. And what happens is you live the same life for 50 years.
All right, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
This will probably be the last question for today. It says, I'm a guest looking to join. What if I can't establish with clarity the main goal that I have to establish? The passion and commitment is not there now. And that's a question I have to answer to work on to start the program. What I have to do is not what I'm passionate about or lost faith in. However, my back is against the wall and I have to make it moving forward.
What if I told you I don't agree with any of that? What if I told you that I didn't know what I wanted until I had the right direction? And so that's not accurate. When you're working with a great mentor, they're leading you every step of the way. So I don't agree with that. The only thing you have to know is this. How do I want to live? Forget about what the actual vehicle is, but do I want to live every day waking up so excited, so fired up? Do I want to live every day knowing I'm financially secure? Do I want to live every day in a prison or I get to decide what I'm doing, where I trust myself explicitly? That's the whole point of the coaching. Okay? See, a lot of what you guys are telling yourselves is not true. I'm not better than any one of you. I am not better than any one of you. I may be more aware in this area because I put a lot of time into it. I've had people come to me. I got a text message yesterday from a client I'm working with. And they said to me, I've been working at this for 10 years. Just being with you for 2 months, I've created more in 2 months than I have in 10 years. And I said, well, why do you think? And he said, you get me into action. Action is the foundation of our life. So, but we've got to understand our image. Like, I'm telling you this, if you feel like you keep hitting a wall, no matter how hard you try, no matter what you're doing, it's identity. But most people know self-image, but they don't know how to change it. The only way you could change your self-image is by behaving your way and acting on ideas. You have this visceral experience. I've never thought my way into a new image. Now, I think it, but then I had to go follow through and act on it. Until you do that, it doesn't work. But don't limit yourself because you say, I don't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted. I just knew I wanted freedom. I did not know the vehicle. You don't need to know the vehicle. The vehicle will show up once you build the framework in your foundation. The foundation is you. It is you. The biggest thing that I feel so sorry about is people don't understand how great they are. People don't understand they're one decision away. Do you realize that once you choose in and bet on yourself, your whole world changes. Now, I'll have clients who will not do what I tell them. And then I have a call with them, or they drift away. It's one or the other. If I have a call with them, I shift them right away and I say, text me every day. And I'll tell you to text me every day. Like, this is a very personal coaching with me. And I will tell you to text me every day. It's not for me, it's for them. Because they don't want me to have a text that they miss days. But I don't do it to judge them. I do it to help them. See, accountability is a success insurance policy. See, my guess is if you're following me, you've been following my information. But here's my thing. Don't gather information for another second. For another second, stop gathering information. It has no power. Become it. Think, feel, and act like the person you want to become. There's not one of you. Like, I'm looking at my friend Darinko. I haven't seen you in a while. But you don't think that if Darinko would commit to doing what I tell her, that I couldn't get her to 10x her life this year? I know I can. And I have so much passion and energy for this because I was losing bad. And I've dedicated my life to this. But you have to follow through with what I'm telling you. If you don't, you're going to regret it. The time is going to go by and you're ingraining this old paradigm and you keep wondering, God, I'm trying so hard. Why isn't it changing? Like, stop screwing around with yourselves. Go live the way you're capable of. It happens so quickly once you learn the right direction. And that is my biggest advice for you all.
Haraj, one more thing before we wrap up today, because you made an offer on the webinar that you have never made before. And it is not only Quantum Leap coaching, but a lot of bonuses. You stacked the deck for everyone because you really want everyone to win. But those bonuses go away in 5 days now. So I just wanted you to talk about that offer, why you made that offer, and reiterate that it's not a forever offer.
No. First of all, I didn't even make the offer properly. So what the offer should have been is the first 50 people who acted. I left that part out. So you could see I screw up too. But I will tell you this, I made it because I want to set everybody up for success. And I told everybody too, like, I'm not trying to give you something and not the people who've already invested in it. I'm giving anybody who's in Quantum Leap coaching, I'm giving them all my free bonuses, from the people from the past. But I made it because I care about you. I said it the other day, I have 3 families. I have my immediate family, I have my work family, and I have my clients. And my clients are on here who know me, know how much I care about them. So this isn't that this is impersonal. This is very personal, but I wanted to stack the deck. I gave you Quantum Leap coaching. Plus, I gave you Ignite Your Identity. Plus, I gave you my 7-figure mastermind program. Plus, I gave you my freedom framework. Plus, I gave you Setting the Standard. Plus, I made sure that you guys have your own personal coach, and they all have my number. If you're ever stuck, you just tell them, and I get on a call with you. So I wanted to set you up because losing is not fun. Losing is not fun. And I've lost. So I tell you that. But I wanted to give you everything you could that you had no reason not to move forward. And I wanted to give you no excuse not to live 2025 is the year that you transform. The year that you change your whole life going forward. And here's the best part. Once you transform, because you will transform, is this. It gets better. It gets better. I always tell my clients, we're just getting started. We're just getting started. Because it gets better every day, every day. The only thing that I needed was a roadmap. The only thing people are missing is direction. And I'm giving you the direction. But this will only make sense if you stop. I don't even want these things I'm not good enough. Like, stop speaking that into existence. Stop saying I can't do it. You're not understanding who you are. Your results are not you. They're a reflection of your behaviors. That's all they are. That doesn't mean, it's not like somebody creates great results, somebody creates bad results, that the person with great results is better. That's not it. They're more disciplined, yes. They're more committed, yes. They're more aware, yes, but that doesn't make him better. This isn't about me being better than you or you being better than me. But I will tell you, I was at the bottom of my life, the very bottom of my life. And my back was against the wall. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me because it woke me up. Now, maybe today you needed this wake up. Maybe today you're like, I've been on the fence and I haven't done it. I'm telling you, say yes to yourself and you're going to be glad you did.
All right. Thank you, Araj, and thanks to all of you. We will send out a replay of today's Q&A. It'll be in your email, so you can keep an eye on that. And there is a link in the chat if you want to go ahead and get started in Quantum Leap coaching. And we look forward to seeing you all in Quantum Leap. Thanks, Araj. Thanks, everyone.
Take care, guys.